All right, y'all. Welcome to the second round of Mississippi Gravel Cup 2022, and we are heading back to the base. So years ago, before Gravel Cup, so this is our fifth year of Gravel Cup, so it had to be 6 or even 7 years ago. The first gravel race, I believe, in Mississippi was hosted by Matt Rowland, who helped us build Gravel Cup years ago as well. But Matt hosted a gravel grinder in the DeSoto National Forest, starting out of Camp Shelby at the Mississippi Armed Forces Museum. And we've tried a couple of different venues over the years. Rattlesnake Bay is a great trailhead, another like trailhead in the middle of the National Forest. Last year we were over at Lake Perry, but this year we're going to take it back to where it all started, on base at Camp Shelby. Mike Poole has done an amazing job at building some new relationships on base with the base commander, with the director of the museum, and over at the All Ranks Club, where we'll have packet pickup on Friday night. So we're really stoked to bring this race back on base. Just like a couple of weeks ago in Oxford, please follow our ride safe guidelines. Obviously, we're still in a pandemic. Numbers are really high in Mississippi. So, be courteous of everyone around you. While you're inside, throw a mask over your face, and just be conscious and courteous of folks around you. Huge thanks to all of our partners this year. Lauf Cycling, of course, is back as our presenting sponsor. The 3 bike shops that have had our back this year, Biloxi Bicycle Works, of course, they'll actually be providing us support at the aid station on course this weekend. Oxford Bicycle Company, so Wes was out at Oxford last week, down at the bottom of the hill, providing you guys aid. Boardtown Bikes will be in Ackerman, and then of course the bike crossing will be supporting us in Bentonia. So thanks to all of our partners. Chamois Butter, if you saw Wendy's post today or yesterday about the Rouge Derriere Award, we're really excited about that. Just to honor those people that spend all day on the bike. Some of us get done, way early, but there are others that really take their time, enjoy the ride, and spend a lot of time out there. So thank you to Kurt Shellman and the rest of the Chamois Butter crew for supporting us there. Visit Hattiesburg. Kristen Brock is helping us again this year. She's actually the chamber, Visit Hattiesburg. They're providing the food for y'all this weekend. So we'll have food at noon at the Armed Services Museum jambalaya, which should be really good. Let's see, who am I missing? Conks Care and Cantu providing us help again this year as well. Remember that not only will you be on an open course this weekend in the DeSoto National Forest, but also just keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of any military vehicles that might be around you or out on the gravel roads. Hunting season is over, so we should see fairly low pickup truck and hunting traffic. But don't be surprised if you see Humvees, APCs, or even a couple of Abrams tanks out there while you are riding and racing this weekend. We do have 2 aid stations, so if you look at the route, it's a lasso, sort of a loop. So there's the first aid station, the Biloxi Bicycle Works is supporting. You'll pass it at mile 5, so if you kind of get to mile 5 and you totally overdressed, feel free to shed layers there, and then you'll hit that same aid station when you come back around mile 45. And then there's a second aid station on course on the far east end of the course around mile 29. Jed's Perfect Endurance is supporting us over there. As always, the course will be marked with orange and blue stakes. So if you see a stake on your left, you'll be taking a left-hand turn. And of course, if you see a stake on your right, you will go to the right. The course this year at Camp Shelby is really kind of straightforward. There's not a whole lot of like overlapping roads or anything like that. Just that one intersection that you'll come back to either for the hundreds making their second lap, or the 50s kind of like heading home back into Camp Shelby. So course marking should be pretty straightforward. GPS files are also in this email down below, so make sure you download that and put it on your Garmin or Wahoo or whatever navigation device you have. Race plates, as always, have your race plate, on the front of your bike so that we get your finish time. If you checked in at Oxford last weekend and you have your race plate, should be super, super simple for you this week. We're going to have 2 lines at check-in. One is going to be, sort of like new rider, don't have a race plate, need to check in with, with Wendy and the team to get that. And then another line is going to be, I already got my race plate, just need to pick up my swag. Swag at Hattiesburg is going to be these sweet Boko hats that we had custom designed. I've been wearing mine all week and I really, really love it. Finishers patches, of course, whenever you come across that finish line, we'll have them at the timing tent. I also have a stack of Oxford finishers patches. If you didn't get yours a couple of weeks ago, you can come by and get that. The forecast does look quite cold on Saturday morning, but dry. So I think it's going to turn out to be a beautiful day. Probably, similar, maybe a little bit colder than it was in Oxford a few weeks ago with a cold start, but the forecast has the sun coming out around like 9 o'clock with blue skies. So by noon, early afternoon, we should be into the high 40s, maybe even 50s for another lovely January day in Mississippi. Once again, we'll fill we'll get podiums going as they filled. I think we did a pretty good job of that in Oxford, of just kind of getting you guys in and out with the podiums. Of course, a mass start like we've gone back to this year, which is very, very traditional for gravel races. To have everybody go off at once, at least like within the same distances. So look forward to that. And if there's anything else you guys need, today or tomorrow, just hit us up and let us know. One other quick note: if you sign your waiver, if you sign your electronic waiver, that's a good indication to us that you're showing up, right? So if you don't plan on coming, if something happens, last minute or whatever, either don't sign your waiver, or if you do sign your waiver and then something happens really, really last minute, just shoot us a text message at that number that is that's in the email. It's 601-345-4405. Just shoot us a text and say, hey, has something come up? I'm not going to make it, just so that we know to scratch you off of the list. So let Wendy or I or Mike or Stephanie know if you guys need anything or have any questions, and we will see you tomorrow night at the All Ranks Club on base, or Saturday morning at the Mississippi Armed Forces Museum on base at Camp Shelby. So we'll see you guys soon. Thanks a lot.